Alicia, back for our weekly drive. Um, this week I wanted to talk about obedience. The topic of obedience is something very near and dear to me because God has been working with me on obedience. He is, I'm just like everyone else. I'm a work in progress, and there came a point in time where God was like, girl, get your act together. And I really have tried to get my act together. I'm trying. Okay, so why is obedience so important? So I like to use the war analogy because it really is very fitting. And the last video I did, I used that analogy as well. And it's in the Bible. Paul uses it. But it is really a great analogy because we are at war. And when you are at war, okay, you know that you have different levels of command. You have, whoever your superior is, or, I'm sorry, I was never in the military, but when you're in war, you know who you take commands from, right? So let's say that you're in a war situation and your commanding officer tells you to execute a specific duty, okay? If you're truly dedicated to the mission of your fellow soldiers, your company, whatever, you're going to do that, and you're going to do it fast, you're going to do it right away, and you're going to do it to the best of your ability, because you know that you have a whole other group of people who are depending on you, right? So why is it when God gives us a command, we like to do it when we feel like it, or we don't do it at all, and we maybe think, hey, somebody else will take care of it. We look around and someone else will take care of it. Now, in a real life situation, behavior like that would be a catastrophe. I mean, you would put your entire unit at all of your fellow soldiers at risk. You could potentially cause harm to them. Maybe they would start to question your loyalty. Maybe, it could cause the mission to not be able to fully come to fruition the way that they had planned, all because you left your post, or you didn't perform that particular duty or action, all because you didn't perform when you were asked to perform. So if you see disobedience and non-compliance, just doing nothing, can both be equally detrimental. And really, when it comes to obedience, it's a way to show God who you serve, where your loyalties lie, and who you worship. Now, that's not to say that sometimes God won't ask you to just stand your ground, or hold your ground and defend your post. He does that a lot. Sometimes he wants you to just stand still. He doesn't want you to lose ground, but he just wants you to stand still. And that's an honorable request. Hold your ground. Just don't lose your ground. Hold your ground, right? But when we start being disobedient and lazy and not doing what he asks us to do, this is where we can actually cause harm. And it really is important as Christians that we are obedient. It really is important as Christians that we show God where our loyalties lie, not with just our thoughts or our mouth, but with our feet and with our hands, and that we actually put forth an effort to show Him who we worship, who we serve, who we follow. Because the enemy is always going to attack your mind. I mean, there have been times where, I've been going through things, the enemy is attacking me on all different fronts. But the only thing that really got me through is to get up, dust myself off, and no matter what was going on in my mind, I would continue to serve the Lord and show Him where my loyalties lie, no matter what the enemy was trying to confuse in my head or confuse in my mind. And this can be a wonderful way for you to continue to fight, even when sometimes you feel like you're defeated, even when sometimes your mind is telling you that you're defeated, or the enemy is telling you that you're defeated. You can still serve the Lord. You can still, go out there and advance His kingdom. And so this is why I wanted to talk about obedience. There are a lot of Christians and people who believe in Jesus and believe in God, but their actions don't really show it. So how will God know where your loyalties lie if you haven't really produced anything, any fruit that would advance His kingdom or glorify His name? I feel like God really wants to see the fruit of our faith. And it's just important that people remember that, that obedience is a form of worship. And it should be our honor to be obedient. And when things are confusing, when you're undergoing spiritual attacks, you can with your obedience to God, with your obedience to His word, your obedience to His commands, you can wage war. So I am going to sign off on this video. So until next time.